Today on Up at Noon, Astro Gaming swings by to show off their new headphones, the Uncharted movie has a disastrous history, and we found a really, really bad Call of Duty clone. All that and more, this is Up at Noon Live.
What was that voice?
Oh, at the end, the one.
Up at Noon Live.
So funny thing about that intro, actually, we were going to do a version of it. Hi, everyone. We were going to do a version of it where I talked really slow, and then our editor was going to speed it up. So I was like, "Welcome everybody to Up at Noon," and then they do like a chipmunk thing to it.
Yeah.
It was a wreck.
Okay.
Anyway,
Welcome
hi
to
guys.
Up at Noon. Hi, everybody.
I'm Brian Altano. This is Max Scoville. This is IGN's Up at Noon, our premier comedy variety show every week right here on IGN.
Comedy. Live.
Air quotes. Don't forget, you can watch Up at Noon live on IGN.com, PS4, Xbox One, Roku, Apple TV, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. If you don't have those IGN apps, get up on that.
Yeah.
Also, I'll be on Twitter the entire show when I'm not up here working, so use the hashtag Up at Noon, and you can chat with us. We'll also be in the comments. I don't really know how we do all that. We just kind of make it work.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
I'm not even technically there now.
Yeah,
so.
you're actually in Google Drive looking at pictures of Godzilla. Twitter's not even loading. Anyway, welcome to the internet. Everything's broken and on fire and nothing works.
Yep.
But good news, we have a special guest. Joining us from Astro Gaming, makers of fine quality headsets, we've got Thaddeus Cooper, who is Director of Community.
Yes.
What's up, man?
Hello,
How's
what's
it
up,
going?
guys?
Thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you for having me. It was a long walk, I think 2 blocks.
Yeah, you're in the hood.
We're all,
I love that.
just right around. I love how like this thing is all new. We look like very small people in front
We
of
are.
it.
We're all very
I'm
tiny
digging
men.
it.
Anyway, so this is the Astro A50 headset.
Yes.
These are kind of like, I want to say like more or less industry standard in terms of gaming. Like I would say the majority of game events I've been to are outfitted
That's very
with.
sweet of you to say.
I have a set of the kind of previous model, but those came out like 5 years ago, and these ones are suddenly wireless.
Yeah, these are actually a pretty crazy upgrade. So, I mean, if I can just
Yeah, go for it.
yeah, I mean, the A50s have been out for a while, and we have gotten a lot of feedback on them. You know, people really love them. Some people had issues with them, and so like
You mean like feedback from the community, not
Yeah,
like, not like audio
well,
feedback?
No, yeah,
That'd be bad
there's-
news.
Yeah.
The mic's too close to the earphone.
You're too quick for me. No, I'm I'm the community director, and so like part of my job is to listen to what people are saying, and it's not always nice, and so we kind of listen to what our fans wanted, right? And it was about changes, and so we wanted to redesign the A50s and kind of create something that was an improvement on what we had already done. So if you were saying like these are kind of the standard, we really wanted to raise that bar.
So first things first, I think it's really cool how you have sort of customization. This model doesn't have the sort of the customizable tags that the
speaker
A40s
tags.
have. Everything's kind of built in there, but you do have this thing where you can pop out the what are these called?
Ear cushions.
The cushions.
Yes.
Ear cushions.
The muffs. But yeah, like, and then you've got these leather
so
ones
this is
that
a mod
snap
kit
in.
right now, and so you have the choice between the cloth ear cushions, which we
Wow.
developed for pro esports players.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be really comfortable, allow you to wear the headsets for a long time, get rid of ear fatigue. Here, let me actually show you.
They
This
are
is
very
this is a nice
soft and
time for a
nice.
tutorial.
Yeah.
To get the headband off, it's really easy. If you pull on both sides, you're actually increasing the tension on both sides exponentially. So what you want to do is just grasp it on one side and pull at one piece, and it'll just pop off.
Well, there we go. But yeah, so this is obviously, this kind of works with everything. You've got a PC version, PS4 version, Xbox One versions of these, but there is like an adapter kit, and of course it works with PC and.
Right. So I got it backwards.
Here, raise it up a little bit.
Oh, right here.
There we
go.
Keep
This
it
guy
on
off.
camera. It's just hard to
We
put
just
the
do like the
headband
weird
on. and
cute
So you
TV
basically
serial.
made
Make it look
you
sexy
made
at the same
you
time.
made like Transformers inspired headsets
Yeah.
basically. That's really awesome.
So the PS4 version is also PC and Mac compatible, and so is the Xbox. So there's really 2 versions. We did that because we wanted to make the headset fully wireless on the Xbox One, which requires a chip in it that allows for communication. And so we had to release the Xbox version and the PlayStation version. But we are, we're super happy about having access to chat on Xbox One.
Yeah, finally, it's really cool. So one of the things that I've gotten into recently is PSVR. Obviously, VR sound is kind of more important than ever.
Yeah.
Where does Astro sort of fit in with all that?
Well, okay, so in VR, we're playing a lot in that space right now. Our headsets are, you're looking great, man. Our headsets are amazing for VR. We have, Dolby Digital encoded into Dolby Headphone 2.2, I believe, and so that allows for like a really full soundscape, which is exactly what you want in a VR setting. Now, most VR audio is controlled also by the algorithm of the game and the VR headset itself.
Right.
So PSVR We actually recommend A40s for that because
cool.
all of that audio is driven off of the 3.5 audio jack coming out of the breakout box. And so if you want that true directional audio, we're definitely going to say the A40 TR is the best headset for that. You know, and the fit for this, you know, you can kind of see the tube design here. It actually fits perfectly over VR headsets, and so you're not really going to get any interference with the way the headset fits on your head.
Yeah, I was going to say it's got to be kind of interesting is designing these headsets so that they work with the average gamer who's playing video games, but also like these funny helmets coming out every few use it now, and it's like, well, you want to make sure it's not like snapping over it. I've specifically had problems with the Sony official headsets. They just kind of crack. So these look a little bit more sturdy than that, and I'm very happy about that.
Boom. So you got to get the mic hole lined up right there.
So let's talk about sound in general when it comes to video games, because I feel like in many ways it's more important than ever in the way it's designed. But on the other hand, you have people who are playing games on their phone and they might not even hear a single sound coming out of it. I've been playing this Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes games on my phone. I've never heard it once. I played like 30 hours of it. Just play it on the train.
Yeah, I actually played the weird thing. It's got the Star Trek music playing the entire time.
Really?
Yeah, no, not at all.
No, they gotta fix
That's
that.
nonsense.
So, I mean, how important do you see sound becoming or continuing to be in the world of video games as people are becoming more casual with it and more hardcore with it at the same time?
So first of all, you know, audio has always been important. It's like the way we communicate things, and it's not just the way we communicate, you know, verbally, but there's also audio cues in both game and in life that you listen for that aren't just words that you say. So audio is highly important, but it's also one of those things that we're such visual creatures that we don't always realize what audio adds until you don't hear it, and then you do again. So like take, you know, we were talking about VR. If you've ever done VR without audio, it's a flat experience. Like you just don't have that same immersive experience. But when you have ambient audio that's really kind of surrounding you and giving you that immersive experience, suddenly it's so much easier to buy into what you're seeing. On mobile, yeah, I think that audio is still pretty important. You know, I'm playing Kingdom Hearts Unchained right now. And I played that without audio for a long time, but we also make, you know, A38s our mobile headphones, and I finally put those on the train one day and was playing because I ride up from San Jose every day, and you know, it just suddenly the audio was there, and I could hit every time I was hitting something with a keyblade, you could hear it, you know, and it was just like it added something to the experience that was missing. You know, on mobile, I definitely agree that you can get away with it, but it just feels like the experience isn't it's missing a dimension when you don't have the audio there.
Sure.
So, things like Halo, right? Like we have a guy we love working with. His name's Legion. He's an amazing, you know, one-on-one just Halo player. He just is crazy awesome, but at the same time, like he has learned to do things like listen for audio cues in the game, so he can tell what gun you've picked up, so he can hear if you pick up the sniper rifle, and he's like, okay, I'm going shotgun and getting in your face because you just picked up the sniper rifle, and then you'll switch out a gun, and he'll be like, oh, you just switched to the shotgun, okay, well now I'm going to use this on you, and so it's just like you can just play with him, and he just knows these things, and that's that level of audio that people don't realize are there in the game, but if you can tap into that, like it actually enhances your ability to play the game.
I really love that.
One of the big tips I heard early on about getting competitive with shooters is a good set of headphones, and like Counter-Strike players being like, you got to listen for footsteps, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to play this competitively. I don't think that's going to work out too well.
You know, you don't realize it, but until you actually hear someone coming around the corner before you see them, like you don't realize how much that leads into what you do. Like and it's a natural thing, right? We hear someone coming and we turn to see what it is. Even in a video game, if you can get that spatial audio correct, you will actually start to adjust the way you play without realizing that it's something that you're doing. And you know, it's something that we talk about a lot in the office is that like you look at a TV, I just bought a nice curved TV. I won't mention the brand or anything, but
it's an Astro.
Yeah, look for it in 2018. So I put a ton of money into this TV, and then you go and you mount it on the wall and you go through all this work. But then you look at the TV and you realize that the least expensive thing on the TV are the two crappy speakers that it comes with. But that's still what most people use, because you can get on Call of Duty and other games and you can actually see who has a headset when they're gaming, and you can tell. Like,
you can hear them breathing in it.
Yeah. But you could tell who has the crappy $15 speakers on their TV and who's actually using a headset.
It's kind of nuts too, because I think that a lot of people, it's definitely one of those things where you don't really realize what you're missing until you have it.
Right.
You know, it's the same way you go to your parents' house and you're like, you have an HD TV hooked up to like an SD cable with like an RV switch on the back, whatever the hell it is. And then, like, you actually try.
You're an audio expert, I see.
Exactly. The RV switch. It calls in a large car that you can live in. But a lot of people don't realize that, and I, for a while, just used the speakers on my television because I'm like, these are fine, you know? But because TVs have gotten better and better, their speakers, their sounds, I think, have gotten worse, right?
Yeah.
Because they're just tinny and...
And it's just... I mean, the better the picture gets, you go 4K, that kind of stuff. But audio has always lagged behind as far as TVs because they're TV manufacturers. They're not audio manufacturers.
Sure.
They want you to have a better experience. They want you to have a theater system or a headset that does like a surround sound.
If you give a mouse a cookie effect, where you're like, I just spent several $$1,000s on a TV, and now I have to spend more and more $1,000s
crappy
on surround
TV
sound
speakers.
things.
Fuel the industry. They
Now,
want you to spend
I play PSVR with surround sound systems sometimes, but you were saying that it's like there's actually cues and things that I'll miss in that sort of setup.
So the way it's set up is all of the audio comes out of the breakout box, the directional audio. So if you're talking to me in VR, like you're a character in VR, and I turn to one side, suddenly you're going to be on the right side of me if I'm plugged into the breakout box. But if I'm drawing off the optical cable or something else, that audio is going to stay directionally in front of the way I'm looking, because it's not coming out of the box that's actually feeding out the directional audio. So.
Did these guys go to like sound school? Like how?
Probably.
I eat lunch with engineers every day, so it's just like I just listen.
That's awesome. So pricing, release date.
So the A50, it's still $300. So we added a bunch of new technology to it: the charging base station, the mod kits. We retuned the audio.
That is so satisfying, by the way. That
the little drop-in. If it was plugged in, you could see that it automatically charges and starts syncing to the device. So there's no more buttons to push to sync the headsets together.
Yep.
Nice.
The one thing that we're coming out with in probably about the January-ish time is that we'll be selling the base stations independently of one another. So you can actually have an Xbox base station and a PlayStation base station and just drop your headset into it, and suddenly it's a Xbox headset. And then you put it into the PlayStation 1, it's a PlayStation headset.
This is a PS4 model, right?
This
you
one
can
is
tell
a PS4,
by the blue tubes.
There's a green Xbox One model as well.
Cool.
Both are fully wireless, and we've added full sound card capability on PC with these, so you can just plug in via USB.
Beautiful.
No more need for audio, and it draws Dolby 7.1.
You guys gonna make a red one for the Nintendo Switch someday?
No comment.
No comment. I tried. I did my job.
And what are we looking at in terms of battery life?
We got about a 15-hour battery life on this bad boy.
Cool.
Now, battery life was super important to us. I hope you don't mind if I go a little long-winded
go for
again. I definitely like to talk. I'm not sure if you guys.
That's better than
well,
a
I
guest
have
that
this-
hates talking.
If I get tired of it, I can always just put these on.
So battery life.
So as battery life was an issue, one of those things that people definitely complained about and we wanted to address, right? And so as we design, Astro's design philosophy is always about how to solve problems. And so as battery life was looked at as a problem, we're like, how do you fix that? Bigger battery, great, okay, now it's 15 hours. And you would say, okay, great, you solved the problem. But that's not really the problem, because we looked at how people use the headset, and half the time you're using a wireless headset, the charging station or where you're plugging it in is nowhere near where you're sitting.
Right.
And you're gonna just take the headsets off and you're gonna put them on a coffee table, you're gonna put them somewhere else.
Yep.
We have an accelerometer in this headset, so if you take the headset off and you leave it on and you set it down somewhere, if it doesn't detect movement for 30 seconds, it's going to auto shut off and go into a low power state.
Wow.
When it goes in that low power state, at a full charge, it'll last, from what I'm told by engineers, about a month before you're going to have to throw it back on the charger.
That's nuts.
Right?
That's like a,
the
like a DS.
Right. And the magnetic conductive charging was the other point to battery life for us, is we wanted to make sure that it was easy for you to charge. You didn't have to go find a USB cable. You didn't have to plug it in somewhere. I'm constantly having to switch out, like, okay, I charged this for long enough, now I got to throw my phone battery on the USB charger. And so, so just having it at a place where it's like, look, you don't have to have a stand for it, you don't need anything else, you just plop it in, and it is charging as soon as you dock it.
Awesome.
Then you always know. The other thing, the final piece for it is, you can't see it because it's not plugged in right now, but there's a readout on the front that has 4 status bars that shows how much battery life you have.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
So you'll never pick up your headset and wonder, am I going to have 15 minutes of
gonna
gaming or 15 hours of gaming left in my
beeping in
headset?
your ear or whatever.
Right. So as soon as you put it on, those lights are going to light up, and you're going to know, I have 4 bars, so I'm fully charged, or I have 3 bars. Or if it's flashing and red, then it means that you maybe have 20 or 30 minutes. Yeah. So you're going to have to charge it at some point.
Cool. That is fantastic.
Thaddeus, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
Where can people find out more? It's just astro.com?
Astrogaming.com. You can follow us on Twitter at astrogaming, or
And
Instagram.
these are available at like all major retailers and stuff like that?
Yeah, Best Buy, GameStop.
There we go.
Cool. Off our website, Amazon.
So to follow up talking about high-end gaming headsets, we found the cheapest game we could on PS4. It's real awful. Let's take a look at this, just this hot mess.
What's up, guys? It's Brian and Max, and guess what time it is? It's fall. And what does fall mean for gamers? Hottest first-person shooters available, like Titanfall, Battlefield 1, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and Honor and Duty.
Yeah, this is a game.
Arcade Edition. What?
This is a game that we found on PSN for $7.
It just launched this week. You can kill the crates. That's good.
All right, so I already. Okay. There's guns. I don't have any cash for the guns. I guess I can have another one of these boys.
Bold move to launch this game right now.
Yeah, also, if you're playing on a TV and you're sitting more than, 4 feet from it, you probably can't read any of the menus, so, don't try to.
So Honor and Duty, we're playing the single-player mode. The multiplayer mode hasn't launched yet, which is, right off the bat, very unconventional for a first-person shooter released this century.
It's got aiming. Oh, boy.
It does have aiming. There's that man.
Okay, I'm already out of, they're out of graphics. This is not a good game.
Feel?
Honestly, I kind of like it, but it's definitely not a good game. That's apparently not going to explode. Well, I guess it is going to explode.
There we go.
This man's trying to get into my base, and I want to come back here and just hang out with my tree.
Do you know what kind of like perks or airstrikes you can call in, or like there's like?
It's good to see that
zombie mode.
I don't think I can do anything.
What about where's your Titan?
Probably not.
You don't really?
I have to just buy more ammo.
Okay, let's try an ammo-less run where we just go as far into this game as possible.
I guess that blew up, so that's cool.
Ready? Just run for it. Go as far as possible. Just run past everybody.
Oh wow, that's certainly a large gradient. Wait.
Is that it?
Stop! Am I stuck in a tree?
What? Was that the whole level? Oh, what was that? Okay, we got him.
$50 for killing that dude.
Right.
Oh, come on.
Oh, he was behind the tree? What is this, like Bugs Bunny?
This is a very bad game. Oh, boy. I mean, I support people making, What?
What? What is this game?
Man, remember when games like this used to come out all the time? What?
Oh my god.
All right. Can I have their guns?
Reinforcements have arrived. All right, maybe we can get past the tree now. Yes, we can.
Apparently we can. We've learned so much about how to play the game. This is also the most depressing. This is what depression looks like.
Oh, let's go in the cave. No, it's just a wall.
Invisible walls are a fun new game element.
Are they all over the place? It looks like it. Ally. There
okay, cool.
We got some friends.
Let's go meet these cute girls named Allie.
Hey,
oh, it's Allie Landry. Okay.
Okay. All right. Oh, what is that? Like a particle blanket?
I got a free gun.
This is a good gun. Look at this.
Listen to that sound effect. It sure is a noise.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody put scissors on the floor.
Okay.
Here we go. Yeah, mowing them down.
Woof. Man,
now it's getting good.
Move over, Battlefield 1. We got a new game of the year here.
Yeah, suck it, COD.
And I don't know how to switch my... There's my other weapon. Okay, so they shot my other two guys.
Ooh, I think you shot that man. What's the plan now? You're gonna just kind of lay low?
Wow. Gun noises and everything. It's got all the new stuff from games. Woof. Okay, and I've got the red stuff coming at me again. How do I run? Get out of here. I'm trying to go to my health box where I like my delicious snacks.
This is
Am I limping?
This is a real not good video game.
This is a bad game. Okay, so I got
I don't
closer.
like to poop on stuff like this, but you know, they're selling this one.
Yeah, this should definitely be like maybe Steam Early Access, like maybe...
This feels like the kind of game that should come free with like a cereal.
I've been promoted. That's a nice thing to get. Okay. Woof!
You got $75 cash, which in this year is enough to buy like at least 6 houses.
Yeah, what year is this supposed to be in?
I don't
Is this
even
World
know.
War II? Is it like...
I don't know.
Man, this is like a PS1 game.
This could also be in like 1985. Like this could be like Rambo times.
I mean, there's a point in history where you could go back and show this to somebody and they'd be like, wow, the graphics are incredible. What an amazing gameplay. But we're kind of a long way from that time.
Yeah.
What's the coolest gun I can get? Let me get in that
don't
house.
know.
How do I go in my house?
Your rock
Look
hole?
at this funky running. Ah! Ooh. Oh, wow, a UFO noise. I
Why
like
did
that.
it do that?
Wow. What is this little... Oh, cool. All my supplies are back in this corner where I can die easily. What is this level? All right.
I don't like it at all. It's actually making me nauseous.
What about this would make you nauseous, Brian? This is like Word Art the Shooter.
Yeah, this is not good. Anyway, this is Honor and Call of Call of Honor Duty.
Oh, don't forget to mention it's the arcade edition. It's
Arcade
available on PSN for $7 if you hate $7 and don't want to have it anymore.
Our Honor and Arcade Duty edition.
You know what would be honorable is finishing this game, and a cool duty would be the guy who runs the PSN store being like, maybe we shouldn't let this be here.
Yeah, maybe we should put up a little wall.
Oof.
Maybe we should put up an invisible wall so this game can't get in. What is with the part where it freezes?
Wow. Okay, so there's Honor and Duty.
That's right. This fall, the hottest shooters are out, so you know which one to buy. All the other ones.
Look at those nasty hands.
That's
Also, look at my wrists.
What? Yeah, what happened? You can see through your arms. Was this like a VR game?
I hope
I'm
not.
done.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks a lot.
That's right. Buyer beware.
That game sucks.
Man, look, like we were saying in the Let's Play, I don't want to just be there being like, let's poop on this thing that a bunch of people worked on, but like they're selling it, and it's our job to kind of let you know that you shouldn't buy things that are fundamentally broken.
Buy like 4 or 5 like PlayStation themes. Like buy like I think there are honestly like dynamic themes on the PSN store that are like
Screaming
that
Cat,
have better shooting mechanics than that game.
Tiger Dad.
So speaking of shooting games that aren't terrible,
Yeah.
Titanfall. Big fan of it. I had a blast with the single player. You weren't wild about it, but thing about that game is it's selling really poorly, and everyone's like, "Oh, is this the last Titanfall game?" And it's like, no, man. They don't.
Yeah.
You don't spend that much time building the guts of something just to scrap it.
Yeah, I think it'll sell pretty well, all in all. I mean, obviously, it went head-to-head with Battlefield 1, and then Call of Duty next week, and Hero of War, whatever that game was. So it's Honor of Heroes. It's kind of in a weird spot, and it's weird for EA to put out 2 AAA shooters within a week of each other. But people worry that this franchise is going to go away. Absolutely not the case. We got a quote from EA in one of their earnings calls the other day. They said, "We are working with Respawn to build a franchise. This is something that we plan to be working with them on for many, many years to come. And there's huge opportunity inside of that franchise to continue to expand it. And so part of the strategy of building a franchise is you have a long view. Think about the business differently than you might existing franchises like FIFA or Madden. And what that means is we're looking for ways to not fragment the player base early, but to include as everybody as possible as we continue to build that franchise."
Yeah,
I love that.
I think it's pretty safe to say that, maybe not safe to say, I might talk out my ass here, but I think this could be EA's equivalent of Destiny. Like this is them kind of partnering sort of with a studio that they don't exactly, they don't own Respawn, do they? Respawn I think is still independent. But they definitely have a deal with them, and they're publishing, you know, Titanfall, and they're building a new universe. And it's like, it's not based on a sport, it's not based on an existing property. And they're like, all right, from the ground up, what do you guys want to do? And they're like, okay, robots.
Yeah.
So obviously there's going to be more Titanfall games. That seems like kind of a definite. I think they maybe have a mobile game in the works. I feel like that was a thing we heard about.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a franchise we're going to see everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like within the next few years, there'll be like bite-sized VR experiences. There'll be probably single-player only stuff, multiplayer only stuff. I mean,
Probably novels.
Yeah, for
McFarlane
sure.
toys.
Action figures, snacks. There already are action
So the big
figures.
question is, where does it go?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing with it?
So what I really like about Titanfall 2 is that it completely expands and grows upon the seeds they planted in the first one. And I'm not completely in love with the single player like other people are, but I absolutely understand the potential of where it's going. So what I really like is the kind of buddy cop thing going on between the protagonist and your Titan, and I really want to see more of that. I want to see that sort of bond develop at a young age in the same way that, like, I don't know, it's in Star Wars, it's like you have a droid when you're a kid, or your first lightsaber. That's sort of like picking up the needle and moving it somewhere else in the timeline or in the universe to sort of see, like, how is this robot, human conflict affecting the rest of the world?
Yeah, I definitely want to see less of a serious military approach, which
Yeah.
is kind of the thing. It's still got kind of the trappings of Call of Duty, and obviously they're going after that crowd. I don't see them being like, all right, here's a game where you play as a kid and you friends with the robot, because it is still an M-rated shooter franchise. But I think that Titanfall could totally benefit from borrowing a few ideas from the Gundam series. Obviously, if you're unfamiliar, Mobile Suit Gundam is one of the longest running kind of mech anime series. And it starts out, there's kind of the original one, which is all about kind of similar stuff to what Titanfall is dealing with. You got warring factions in space, and they have robots, and they fight each other with them. But there's some later Gundam stuff that's still set in that timeline. One of them does involve a kid who's living on like this space colony. It's called War in the Pocket, and it's about this kid who basically finds a crashed robot suit, and he's all like crazy about robots. And it just got that kind of like, it's sort of like Cinema Paradiso if instead of an old movie theater, it's a giant mech.
I like that.
But I mean, there's also there's a lot of cool stories. You can take really any story. I think my favorite Gundam series is the 8th MS Team, which is effectively like Platoon or like some kind of Vietnam War epic, but set in Southeast Asia, but with robots. And there's this awesome whole thing where like there are dudes doing like kind of guerrilla tactics to take down robots. Like it's kind of like the end of Return of the Jedi, where there's Ewoks setting up traps and everything, but they're human people attacking robots. But yeah, like I'd love to see smaller scale, higher concept Titanfall stories.
That I really like.
This one kind of bounced all over the place.
It did. And the way they kind of spread it out a little bit was it did really feel like military shooter-ish, but I did like the new environments. I love the diversity environments, especially. That sort of like worn, torn, overgrown future thing.
Yeah, it's fun.
I want something that's sort of like Neil Blomkamp's District 9 meets Iron Giant, you know?
I like that.
Like sort of shades of like, let's see this clash between humans and the way everything else works in this universe. Also, like, I really, really dug, without spoiling it at all, because I really want you to play this, but some of the sci-fi weaponry they get into in this game is really, really cool. Like it's sort of like it's
like that ninja star that sets fires.
More than that. I mean, there's specifically a trigger about halfway through the game that lets you kind of mess with the space-time continuum a little bit.
I want that scaled back. I'd like more stuff that's just like maybe we're given basic commands to the Titan. You know, like kind of in the single player, you could hop out of the Titan more or less at any point, and it would go around and you know do stuff for you. Kind of it had your back. But I'd love to see where there's sort of like a kind of almost a Last Guardian element where you're like, hey, go over there, do that, and maybe it's like, I don't know what I'm doing, and like walks through a wall.
I do love that because the way the campaign is set up now, it sort of strategically points you in a way that you continue to lose your Titan and regain him. It kind of just feels like losing your dog a bunch and getting back in his embrace. So it's a little interesting to see the future of this franchise go where it could possibly go. It's not going away. Obviously, this is going to be a huge thing for many, many years to come. I'm really excited about EA having the Star Wars license and then having Titanfall and just making really cool sci-fi robot action games.
I'm never gonna complain about there being more big robots.
Yeah,
you know,
never.
Like I love mech stuff, so it's cool to have like a 40-foot robot stomping around with me. That's a good time.
Yeah. So let us know what you want from the future of the Titanfall franchise for the years to come. Use the hashtag #UpAtNoon or leave a comment below, and we will check that out.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we got some amazing news this week for a game from 4 years ago. Animal Crossing: New Leaf got its biggest update ever and an entire Nintendo Direct dedicated to it. Really, really surprising to me. 4 years ago this week, Animal Crossing New Leaf came out. Here at IGN, every single person in the office who had a 3DS bought this game. We were trading fruit and furniture and costumes and all sorts of things. It was very like this kind of zeitgeist communal thing happening at the same time here. And then like most games, you know, it kind of trickled off. I stopped playing it. I actually transferred my DS files from one 3DS to another and lost my town, which was just like, it was like losing 2 years on Facebook. It's heartbreaking. This gave me an excuse to kind of go back. And earlier this year, I was flying a lot back to the East Coast to spend time with my family. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a file in this game again, move in fresh, give Tom Nook all my money. And now I was like sort of like trickling away, and they brought in even more stuff. So let's take a look at some of the new additions to Animal Crossing New Leaf and why I'm definitely going to spend another 100 hours in this awesome game. Okay, so right off the bat, we got this guy named Wisp. Now, if you've seen Wisp before, Wisp kind of shows up late at night, and he's like, hey, I'll get rid of all the weeds in your town for you for like 50 bucks.
So he's like a ghost that does yard work?
Basically, yeah. So his new thing is that he gives you a lamp, and you can use this lamp to scan in Amiibo. That's right, Amiibo support is finally here. And he will actually take over the body of one of the characters you scan in.
That's horrifying.
It's very horrifying. So let's take a look at some of the Amiibos and some of the new areas. So right here specifically, they added this entire new area that's in every one of your towns. It's in yours right now if you do the update.
Who's that drifter?
So they added this new dog who's basically this like pothead hippie dog, and he lives in a car or at that house or both.
Dude, call the cops.
Yeah.
I don't like this guy.
But he sells cool stuff like out of his van.
Like weed? What?
Like edibles and accessories.
Unlicensed firearms?
Yeah, he's got kind of stuff like that. So it's really cool because it's like now all of a sudden every town, like a bulldozer came in and was just like, you have a campground in your town now. Go hang out over there. Like Animal Crossing is a very enclosed sort of space. You've got a town above you, you've got your home, and then you've got the island. So it's cool to see a new area. Let's go through here. So obviously some of the Amiibo support, they're going hard on the Zelda stuff, which I really love. All the ones on top are out already. The one on the left is the Wolf Link that came out with Twilight Princess HD. The ones on the bottom are all launching very soon. So we've got the Wind Waker sort of like original designs from Wind Waker. We got the 8-bit Link, which is kind of like the Mario one.
And we got the one who's vaping.
Yeah, the Vape Pen Ocarina of Time Link, which I really, really love. I pre-ordered all of these. They come out next month. Additionally, next year we're getting even more Zelda amiibo, which are for the Breath of the Wild ones. So all of these, you can scan them into the game, including even more amiibo. All of your Animal Crossing amiibo are all supported. I love the little Nook boys there, the KK Slider. That Tom Nook with his pot belly is one of my favorite toys. Max, I got you Cap'n up in the upper left because
it looks like me.
He looks like, especially today with your hair down.
Yeah.
Let's keep going through these. So obviously, when you start scanning in these amiibo, weird stuff starts happening.
I don't like this one bit.
So this is the Wolf Link amiibo, Link is not a very talkative dude at all, but when he shows up here, you basically have this like wolf that can come to your town, and he sets up, makes no sense at all, he sets up a van in the campground where he sells Zelda goods, such as, like the wall and the treasure chest and all these other things. And that's Medley over here from Wind Waker. You can scan in Wind Waker stuff and basically get Zelda items and characters to appear. So lots of really cool stuff being added to this. Here's another one right here, which I really love, Ganon. Who's just that evil pig that's been kidnapping the princess.
What was in that? Like that dude in the van is selling you hallucinogenics. It's making you see a different franchise.
It's making you see 8-bit. So you can actually buy furniture now and wallpaper and carpeting that looks like the original Zelda game with Ganon just kind of hanging out. And like it kind of goes with our personalities. Like he's pretty pissed off about you being there. I really like that. So yeah, let's keep going through some of these. Here's Epona.
Nope.
This is terrifying.
Nope.
Epona's not supposed to be able to talk or walk upright or wear clothes. But yeah, you can get a chicken in your house, and Epona, the human horse woman man, can now just show up and start talking to you.
I don't like this at all.
Yeah, this is very odd. So I'm actually a big fan of this. This gives me a reason to play this game even more. Do we have anything else?
I think
in
that's
here?
it.
Yeah, I think that's all of them.
That's really upsetting, and I want to play this game. I keep meaning to get into it. Now it's like, here's a pretty good reason to.
It's really cool, man, and it's like, obviously you have access to all the amiibo through me and all the other idiots at the office that went head over heels for those things. So yeah, like, shout out to Nintendo for updating a game from 4 years ago. It's very uncharacteristic of them. Animal Crossing is a classic franchise. One of the things I did forget to mention is that they have consoles now that you can unlock, like a Wii U and a 3DS that you can find in the game and play games on them in your house, which is like something that kind of harkens back to the GameCube era Animal Crossing. Really cool to see this franchise growing. It's coming to mobile. It's almost definitely coming to Nintendo Switch. So if you love Animal Crossing, this is a pretty good time.
Cool. So speaking of animals doing stuff that they absolutely shouldn't be doing, those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sure are heroes in a half shell.
Yeah.
We got the Out of the Shadows movie this last summer. We both really liked it because we have brain problems.
Yep.
That movie was dumb. That movie was dumb as hell.
But we loved it.
It had Bebop and Rocksteady. It had the Technodrome. It was really just incredibly stupid. And we liked it because we're stupid. But apparently that's not going to be, they're not going to get any more sequels because not enough people are as dumb as us.
Yeah, so unfortunately, the first Ninja Turtles movie, which was like sort of mixed in terms of like the reception for it, I know immediately the designs we weren't happy with. Like the turtles just look strange. Megan Fox is kind of out of place. But we made it work, we enjoyed it, and it's a fine film. The second one, the way they got Bebop and Rocksteady, totally loved it. The Technodrome, Krang, all that stuff.
Yep.
A huge Turtles fan. If you grew up with the cartoon, that was kind of your movie. We got an interview recently basically saying from Andrew Form, who's the producer on the film, that we will not be getting a Turtles 3 basically in this franchise. I don't think there's a Turtles 3, but I wouldn't say there's never going to be another Turtles movie.
There's without question another Turtles movie. Like they reboot that thing pretty much every 5 years because there will always be 5-year-olds who want to watch it.
Yeah, but I think like the whole like here's the new Shredder, here's the Megan Fox, here's the new Splinter, here's Stephen Amell as Casey Jones. That's kind of going away for a while.
Dude,
so,
we had Tyler Perry as Baxter Stockman, and they're not going to turn him into a fly.
Yeah,
that sucks.
So they said
maybe he'll show up as a fly in one of those Medea movies.
With regard to the film's underwhelming performance in theaters, Form said they were obviously surprised at the box office results and felt good about the material. For some reason, it did not find the audience the first movie found. It just kind of underperformed, and a movie like that's very expensive. The CG was gorgeous.
I think they should just use live animals next time.
I'm totally into that.
I think that would be a good movie. Just live animals.
And before you say it, I'm going to say it right now because I know it's already popping off in the comments. I know that there was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. I've spent decades trying not to think about it. That movie was hot trash. I took my parents to see that, and it's amazing they're still together.
You know the best part of that movie is when it's over because they played Tarzan Boy by Baltimore.
What happened with that film?
That's a good song.
God, what happened with that film?
I don't remember that at all.
What a wreck of a movie.
I think I watched that on my 14th birthday, and I don't remember that.
I remember being like, they're going to Japan. I love Japan. This is really cool, and I love the turtles. This is going to be awesome. Oh, wait, they're there the entire time, and there's no mutants? That movie sucked.
Yeah, that's a bad movie.
And
but
look,
anyway,
then we get a Turtles movie that gets Bebop and Rocksteady perfect. It gets Casey Jones awesome. Megan Fox is even fine. It's like, I mean, think about it. If you're gonna work, yeah, hell yeah, she is. But if you're gonna work at a news station that allows you to hang out in a sewer and film adult animal turtles all day, then I don't really care if you wear a skirt in Grand Central. Do whatever you want. Splinter was great.
Yeah.
It was a great movie. Hey, let's do this.
It wasn't a great movie.
It's a really good, dumb, bad movie.
The garbage truck had nunchucks.
I don't know if we can make this.
If you haven't seen Ninja Turtles 2 Out of the Shadows, and you're like, that movie looks stupid, congratulations. It obviously was stupid, and it's your fault we're not getting an even dumber movie where they turn Tyler Perry into a fly.
But look, we can change that. We can make this multi-billion-dollar movie a cult hit. I want you to buy every copy of that film you can. I want you to buy it digitally everywhere. I want you to go to the store and buy as much Turtles merchandise as you can. Just buy it all.
Yeah.
Not the cool stuff, the one where they're based off the ugly versions of the film.
Look, how is it we get 5 Transformers movies? We got Michael Bay
what the
putting
hell?
swastikas all over Winston Churchill's house to make a movie where King Arthur shows up with a bunch of trucks, but we can't get a movie where Bebop and Rocksteady come back and maybe they rob a bakery and eat an entire cake. I don't know anything could happen in that movie.
I cannot tell you the plot of a single Transformers movie, but I can tell you in every Turtles movie there's one central story. Animal ninjas that hate animal non-ninjas.
We could have gotten Triceratons.
Unbelievable. They showed him in the Technodrome at the end. Spoilers, I'm sorry if you haven't watched it. But
Watch
if you
that
haven't,
movie.
you're part of the problem.
Also, like, that is, I've never been so startled by a villain in a movie. That Krang just shows up like you're being mugged. Like,
He's
you're like,
great.
Did the acid kick in?
Big wet baby brain,
he's
just
disgusting.
a disgusting
Old
mess.
gum.
Unbelievable.
Anyway.
How did you not see that movie?
God, I love that movie.
God,
All
did you see Suicide Squad twice instead? BVS 4 times? Dawn of Garbage? You gotta see Turtles.
All right, stop that. Calm down. Okay, so speaking of terrible ideas for bad movies, give us a second.
Catch our breath.
Okay.
All right, we got Captain Planet movie rumors recently.
Here's the thing. Yeah.
What's the history on this one?
The history on this one is that if you grew up watching cartoons, congratulations, you're part of the last generation that had imaginations. And the good news is that there are adult men sitting in conference rooms at this very moment being like, Thundercats movie, how do we make it work? Rocket Power live action, what could go wrong? One of the people sitting in one of those rooms is apparently Leonardo DiCaprio, who wants to help make a Captain Planet live action movie come together.
Quick elevator pitch for that franchise in case you're not 70. Captain Planet is about a bunch of teenagers from different parts of the globe and ethnicities, and one of them has a monkey, and they use rings to summon a blue dude who tells you to
Kids
recycle.
Club uses occult magic to fight oil spills instead of just eating hamburgers.
If you're wondering why the Earth is so filthy, it's because he went away, so we need to bring him back.
Also, it's really funny, they made lots and lots of plastic toys to promote this thing about equality and ecology or whatever. Anyway, I want to cast this movie. I want to go through everyone who should be in this movie. I can do it for you right now. I have it ready. We've actually been sitting on this segment for like 2 weeks, and more important news keeps coming up. But anyway, here we go. I want Michael Fassbender as Captain Planet. I think he'd be great. I think he's got
the chin.
He's shredded. Give him a mullet. He can act. I don't care. He's used to floating because he plays Magneto.
I like the hair too. That's really good. We can give him like I don't know, just a really high wig.
Just give him a mullet. I don't care. Give him like a Macklemore haircut to update it. Who cares?
He's already holding the globe.
Shamik Moore. He was in Dope.
Yep.
He should play Kwame. That dude is awesome. He's in The Get Down. I think is that what it's called?
Yep.
Get Down on Netflix. I'm into it. Irina Shayk, Russian actress. She should play Linka. I think that's a good one. Rinko Kikuchi, who was in Pacific Rim. Obviously, she should be Guy.
This is perfect, dude.
Aaron Paul should be Wheeler, because he's a pain in the ass.
Yes, you're killing it.
Who should play a dumb idiot who shoots fire at stuff? I don't know. Anyway, I think Bruno Mars should be Mati.
What? All right. Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know if Bruno Mars acts, but he's very small.
Did you cast his monkey?
No, they'd probably do that with CG.
That's
and
not
get like
okay.
I don't know.
Give Bruno Mars a real monkey.
So the Planeteers are great. They're fine. Whatever. They're cool. Bunch of dorks in a Prius. Anyway, I want to get in the villains because the villains in that show were the best, and they are basically walking around in real life. Starting with Louis Anderson, who is the walking incarnation of Hoggish Creedley, and then he had that sidekick of his, Rigger, who should be Kid Rock.
Oh God!
Like they're made to be these characters.
Oh my God!
Now, Duke Nukem, not the misogynistic video game character, but the one who wanted to explode the sun or give everyone lymphoma. I don't know what his deal was. I just want to cover Terry Crews with like armadillo scales that glow in the dark.
Yeah, I love that.
I think that he could just be the most terrifying glowing man possible. Just oil that guy up and cover him with like weird plastic. What's his name? Sly Sludge. Jack Black.
I'm surprised you didn't remember the name of this 10th
honestly,
generation Captain
I kept
Planet
pulling
villain.
up Google image results, and I was like, why is there a picture of a Ghostbuster in
I
there?
like this. It's
why
young.
is he's an evil Ghostbuster.
It's young casting. I'm surprised you didn't go with DeVito on this one.
He's too old.
Unbelievable.
Obviously, Will Arnett should be Loot and Plunder.
Oh, that's perfect.
And then for Captain Pollution, who is, I don't even understand the lore of this series. Apparently all the villains get rings of their own, and they're like, let's do what those kids do, and let's summon Captain Pollution.
I didn't even know
Who should just be Michael. It's just Michael Shannon covered in orange turds.
Is that just a poop dude?
Yeah, he's
what's
a poop
going on
dude.
here?
He's got like an angry mullet. Look at
Why
that.
Michael Shannon?
Now here's the really weird part.
It
Gets weirder. The original Captain Planet series had like a ton of celebrity voice actors, and a lot of those people are still working and could absolutely reprise their original roles without it being too weird. Starting with Gaia, who's Whoopi Goldberg. I got my cards out of order. Gaia is a woman who glows in the dark and lives in Antarctica and gives rings to children, like some kind of weird substitute teacher. Whoopi Goldberg could play her. It's fine. I like it. Next up, we got Meg Ryan, who voiced Dr. Blight. Dr. Blight was known for having like a totally messed up face, and Meg Ryan has gotten a lot of plastic surgery, and this is the most flattering photo I could find of her from the last 5 years.
All right.
Then, of course, she had this computer she hung out with. I don't know if they were dating.
We're just crapping on everybody today.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Meg Ryan. I didn't mean to offend you on the show up at noon that we do every week. Tim Curry voiced Mal. Yeah, just get him in there.
He's
just
dead.
No, he's not, is he? He's
No?
not dead. No, he had a stroke.
Just kidding.
Anyway, if his voice still works, I want him to voice that robot. And then finally, this is the best one. This is the best one. Jeff Goldblum played Verminous Scum, who was a rat man who would try to poison people. I don't know what the motives of these people were. They were just like, we hate the Earth. I'm a rat. Just give me Jeff Goldblum, just being weird old Jeff Goldblum, being like,
I still don't understand. Like the people on this show were just like, you know what we should do is we should just throw toilet paper everywhere and put cans in the street.
You know what? That's it. I'm done being a creative person. I just want to get one of those jobs where you just match things up and you're like, yeah, I know what we'll do. We'll get Channing Tatum to play Bulk in the Power Rangers movie. What could go wrong? Like, I want to do that stupid job where you're just like being like, oh, this makes sense.
Yep.
They do worse casting. Anyway, on the topic of movies that should never be made, one movie that I think increasingly we're becoming aware should not be made is the Uncharted movie.
Why? That's a great game and should be a good movie, right?
Everyone loves when a game turns into a movie. What has that ever gone awry? And of course, Uncharted is already so cinematic that it seems like an easy transition, and it would be impossible to screw this up, except we are rapidly approaching the 10-year anniversary of them announcing their plans to screw this up. I figured I'd give us kind of a crash course in the history of the Uncharted movie.
Hell yeah.
That never was and still hasn't been and maybe will be someday. But starting out in 2008, Avi Arad, who has been involved with all sorts of adaptations of things, the Spider-Man movies, he's still attached to the Metal Gear Solid movie, which will be real interesting to see how that goes without Kojima's involvement. He announces plans to work with Sony on making an Uncharted movie. Nothing happened for a year, and in 2009, Richard LeMarchand, who was the lead designer on the Uncharted games, was asked about it, and he said, no comment. That's
Great.
what he said, so you're like, okay, great. The thing that's worth noting about this is that no comment is very to the point. Maybe it's kind of a game designer, not really a PR approach.
Yeah.
But if they ask you about something that involves a lot of money and a thing you're attached to for your day job, no comment is sort of like, as opposed to being like, oh, there's a lot of talented people working on it, and here's a BS answer. Next.
No comment is also like, yeah, I'm angry and I don't want to say anything.
Exactly. So moving on, in 2009, they attached the writers of Sahara, Thomas Dean Donnelly, and Joshua Oppenheimer. I put the picture of Sahara there because you probably haven't heard of these folks. Sahara is a movie about treasure. Next,
It's about people getting electrocuted.
in 2010, David O. Russell, who's gone on to make a lot of really huge, big Oscar fodder movies more recently, was attached to produce. And everyone's like, okay, that's cool. He, I guess, makes good movies. He made Three Kings, and at that point, I think he was working on The Fighter with Mark Wahlberg. In 2010, also, Nathan Fillion was like, hey, everybody, I should play Nathan Drake, because we have the same first name and the same color hair. And the internet was like, we loved Firefly, let's start a Twitter campaign. And he said, rise you browncoats. And anyway, somebody decided to make David O. Russell the writer and director, in addition to producer, so he's really, really attached to this. And then in an interview, somebody was like, hey, so Nathan Fillion from Firefly really wants to be in this. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Who is that man? And that's kind of an awkward, again, like, it's just an intersecting, like, it doesn't seem like anyone's really on the same page here already.
No, at all.
And we're like 2 years into this. Then it gets really weird. Mark Wahlberg, who has worked with David O. Russell on a bunch of things, he was attached to the fighter, and I guess they were asking him stuff at some junket. He just started kind of going off book, and Mark Wahlberg kind of was like, oh yeah, of course I'm in it. Yeah, David's writing it. I'm in it. Is he playing Drake? No one officially was like, yeah, Mark Wahlberg has been cast as Nathan Drake. But he goes on to be like, yeah, he's doing some crazy stuff. I'm totally going to be, my dad's going to be played by Robert De Niro, and Joe Pesci's going to be my uncle. And it's like,
what?
Oh yeah, those key characters who show up in the Uncharted games.
Uncle Pesci in the Uncharted games?
Yeah.
I'm totally into that.
Anyway.
Or are they like both Sullys?
So, surprising pretty much no one, because I think he was in the running for an Oscar and probably working in
I'm
American
climbing
Hustle.
here.
And David O. Russell dropped out, and then they got Neil Berger to write the movie. You might know him from Divergent, which you probably fell asleep watching on an airplane. And then a year later, David Berger bounced, and they got Marianne and Cormac Wibberley, two Tim Burton characters who are most famous for writing National Treasure. Again, it's like they typed in treasure hunty movies. Who do we get? They also wrote Bad Boys 2. Which I like, but I don't want it. It's not on the same par as Uncharted. And then in 2013, IGN was actually talking to Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, and apparently they had been approached several times to make the Uncharted movie or write it, and they were like, no, we're cool, man. That's fine. That's okay. I feel like it was one of those things where some producer was like, hey, you guys are millennials. You like video games? And they were like, yeah, but no, it's cool.
I think Seth Gordon would rather do like a Space Rats animated movie or like Cheese Talkers.
Sausage Party. And then they got Seth Gordon attached to write. If you don't know Seth Gordon, you're obviously not a fan of Horrible Bosses.
1 and
or
2.
4 Christmases, or his work as the executive producer of hit video game film Pixels.
Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, so again, if you're wondering why you'd want to watch an Uncharted movie, that's the correct thing you should be wondering. Fast forward, shifting gears from rom-coms and Pixels, they decided to get Mark Bohl attached to write. He wrote The Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30 and the campaign for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Then in 2015, Sony pushes the release date back to 2017. So yeah, big surprise. They hadn't started the movie yet. Doesn't sound like they have a script. 2015, Nolan North just chimes in and is like, I don't think fans want a movie.
Yep.
Also, buy my new game. And then in 2016, which is the year it is currently, Joe Carnahan got attached to write it. He was most known for writing Smoke and Aces movies, both 3 of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
2 of them. And the A-Team, which I actually really liked. I think he was attached to some of the G.I. Joe movies. He's all right. He's whatever. And then they got Sean Levy to direct. You might know him from directing Big Fat Liar, Cheaper by the Dozen, #1 only, and the Night at the Museum series. And more recently, an episode or 2 of Stranger Things.
Wow.
One of Kimmy Schmidt. So like, kind of getting messy here. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of a real. I can't say the word where it's a swear word and then it's the word show, but it's kind of there.
Yeah.
Most recently, Carnahan did an interview and he was like basically just really excited about his project. Specifically saying that his version of Nathan Drake will have sort of an anti-Indiana Jones vibe, meaning that whereas Indiana Jones is like, this belongs in a museum, Nathan Drake is just like, give me the loot. Also, I don't care about any of this. I will destroy it, which is kind of on par with Drake. But it's also like,
kind of.
when you're adapting something that lovingly recreates scenes from Indiana Jones, essentially, don't be like, yeah, it's an anti-Indiana Jones vibe. And then he also mentioned that he sat down with Amy Hennig and Neil Druckmann and Nolan North, and they all love what he's doing with the characters. And then just most recently, Neil Druckmann tweeted out that, no, I have not met him. I have no opinion of the script. So the guy was like, yeah, Neil Druckmann's on board. This movie is a trash fire.
Okay, so you have Neil Druckmann, the guy who worked on Uncharted for a decade, basically saying, I didn't meet the director of this film who says he met me.
Yeah.
Who's running off with this character and turning into something completely different.
There are great movies that took a decade to get made.
Yeah.
I mean, Star Wars, Avatar, there's stuff like that where it just gets kicked around and it winds up in development hell. And sometimes it comes out and it's great and it's amazing. In this case, it doesn't seem like that's the issue.
Is the Uncharted movie the Duke Nukem Forever of video game movies?
It could very well be. Is that our headline?
I think that's our headline.
All right, well, there we go. So Uncharted the movie coming in 2017, question marks, maybe, dollar sign. Oops, we meant question marks. Anyway,
Yikes.
I'll keep playing Uncharted games because I like video games.
Yeah.
And I like movies when they're movies. I'll watch Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Speaking of Naughty Dog products, you might remember a little rat that they used to let run around on
that
PlayStation.
dirty little vermin.
His name's Crash Bandicoot, and he's coming back hard this year. He got a new Skylander figurine. He got his own designated level in Skylander. There's HD versions of the original games coming out soon. We saw him walk on stage at E3, or at least his shadow did. Good time to be a Crash Bandicoot fan. One thing that we've all been plagued with growing up with 80s and 90s video games is that a lot of them never really spoke to us. And I don't mean like they didn't connect with us. I mean they literally didn't speak. You look at someone like Link, we've never heard his voice. It took Mario a long time to talk. Crash Bandicoot, for the first time ever, is talking. There is a Skylanders show on Netflix where Crash appears, and for the first time ever, he's got a voice. So let's just indulge in this for a minute. Let's hear Crash Bandicoot's voice.
Crash Bandicoot. And I have no idea how I got here. Last thing I remember, I was on the Wampa Islands and about to free my friend Tawna from the clutches of the evil Dr. Neo Cortex. You don't even know the half of it, mate. Now I gotta get back there and stop that madman from trying to mutate animals into an army he will use to take over the world.
Please stop.
You guys help
Stop.
me.
I don't like it.
What?
I do not like that voice
What's
one bit.
wrong with it?
Well, this is kind of dumb. This is kind of on me. I didn't realize that Bandicoots were from Australia.
What?
I didn't realize they were from Australia. I thought
Really?
they were
They're
like
Australian as hell?
I don't know. I didn't really think about where they're from. I was like, yeah, an island.
Would you
somewhere.
think he'd have like an Italian accent?
I thought he'd be kind of a bro. I thought he'd be sort of like a kind of just a more aggro Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, because
maybe.
he's topless in jorts with strong upper body strength?
Yeah.
I guess that checks out.
Yeah. He's got a tribal tattoo.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know.
So here's the thing: like people have been saying for decades that like Link needs to start talking. I don't know if I want that to happen. I really don't. Like I played Breath of the Wild. He still isn't really speaking much.
It's actually, we've totally heard Crash Bandicoot talk. He goes, ouch, ouch. I guess that's kind of it, as I had a preconceived notion of what he would sound like based on his cries of pain.
Maybe that was like an Australian ouch, like oh ouch.
Why didn't he go like crikey or something?
I
Like,
don't know, because that's out of style for
all right.
Bandicoot.
Well,
that
so is
wears
Crash
jorts.
Bandicoot. Everything's out of style. Why didn't they
It's
get
so weird.
Dexter Holland, lead singer of The Offspring, to voice him? I feel
He's
like that's
probably busy.
Yeah, he is like a chemist. Anyway, that's Crash Bandicoot's voice. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't think I'm going to be watching this Skylanders Netflix series after all.
Not at all. Not
All
at
right.
all.
So we insult a lot of things. Sometimes those things include strangers on the internet, and luckily there's a game that lets us do that exactly. So let's check it out.
What's up, everybody? Max Scoville here with Brian Altano. We're a couple of rude dudes who like to be crude. And we're playing Oh Sir, the Insult Simulator, which is basically a turn-based verbal fighting game.
What? Okay.
And let's do what we're really not that great at. A lot of people who watch our show is better at it, but let's insult some people online. Let's let's pay it forward.
Yeah, a lot of people
Like
do
that-
this to us, so this is our turn to get revenge.
Let's be Maggie.
Oh, I really like Mr. J Shufflebottom.
Okay. Okay. Where do you want to get in a fight?
I think we should go to the pet shop where all the animals live.
This is this game has a very distinct Monty Python influence here.
Yes.
We're dialing up to the internet.
All right.
All right. We both want to fight in the pet shop. We're fighting Rihanna? Rihanna. We're fighting Rihanna. We're gonna have an insult fight.
I don't want to make fun of Rihanna. I think she's beautiful and wonderful.
Okay. So they're really pulling from Monty Python here.
Yeah.
But I love this. I love this aesthetic. I like this sloth back here.
Okay, so
Okay.
your beloved auntie
She's talking some trash about your husband
is makes me sick.
Well,
oh,
good
man.
news. She's got your husband is and your husband is the African swallow.
Unbelievable. I cannot believe
Yep.
she would say such a thing to us.
Oh, she's just sipping and thinking about
It's gonna
it?
be hard to come back from that.
What is
Your beloved
that?
auntie makes me sick and looks like
What? What are you going to say?
looks like Your husband is the African swallow.
So it's kind of like Scrabble, but with insults, and I think that there are different points here.
Okay.
It looks like you.
Your beloved auntie makes me sick and looks like you.
Oh, that's, I mean...
Yeah, I got 12 damage there. Okay.
That's not a very good
Your
insult.
husband is the African swallow.
That's a good hit, though.
Okay. Your mother... What? Oh, wait, I haven't finished my round here. All right, your father...
She said we look like our aunt. That's not really a good diss.
Yeah.
I'm not into that. Your husband is the African swallow, and your father makes fun of the Pope. Well, okay. I mean, he's a public figure. That's
Your husband is the African swallow, and your math teacher... I'm going deep here. I'm going for your hat.
Your math teacher is your hat.
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's why you suck at math. Your math teacher is your hat.
Combo breaker.
Eat it,
All right.
old lady.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm
you should get better at
sipping my
math. Get a
tea.
real ass math teacher instead of a hat. That's what you get for having a hat for a math teacher. That wasn't a very good diss at all.
What is this? I don't know what some of these things do. But yeah, like
Father makes fun of the Pope and acts like a public loo. That's a toilet.
That's pretty good. They're kind of
they're
kind of schooling us here.
Yeah, that's a hard diss right there.
Like a public loo.
It's dissing the pants off of us. Oof.
Your husband is the African swallow, and your math teacher is your hat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Suck
what?
it.
What? Your math teacher's your hat. You suck at math. That's what you get. Slam dunk.
Let me play. Your face.
Your face.
Your ass. What's the difference?
I think we should say her face looks like turtle's turds.
I don't think we can say that. I wish you could just type anything up. This bloody pet shop. Yeah.
Your face. Here we go.
Looks like the shaved rear end of my dog, who walks backwards, coincidentally.
Your face is interested in photography.
Wow,
That's okay. That's not a really. That's what you got.
This bloody pet shop has not finished
Oh,
puberty. Yeah.
It's still got a squeaky voice. It's terrible. It doesn't even have a hair all over its nutses yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. ...
Yeah,
eat it. We're thinking.
Let's think.
We're going in hard on this one.
Is interested in photography.
That is nothing. That doesn't mean anything. You can't even harm us with
Something
that.
like an ant would say. Why would we get...
that's baby food. Bloody pet shop does not finish puberty and...
Come on.
And it sucks and it smells like old horse turds.
Quit talking about my face.
And your wife.
And admires pictures. Come on.
Your face. That is such a 5-year-old thing to do. Your face was born. This bloody pet shop has not finished puberty. It admires pictures of a dead parrot. Yeah. That's the ultimate diss for a pet shop.
Your wife
is that
will
it
always
loves
be alone.
dead animals. Your face was born in your wife. Oh.
What does that mean?
Oh, dude, they got us bad on that one.
Your face was born in your wife.
They get a combo for using your face twice? That's the exact opposite of good insults.
Has not finished puberty and admires pictures.
That's a good one. That's a real good one. We got it
Yeah.
right there. We got him right there. Nailed it.
What? 5 points.
I mean, your face was born in your wife. Is that some hard hitting stuff right there, man? They really got us. I mean, we got to clap back.
Talk about my wife.
We got to clap back.
Also, I like that this woman's very progressive. It's like I got husbands and wives and aunties and uncles.
Yeah, she doesn't care. Your beloved auntie.
Yeah?
Your wife. Oh, they're going after the wife again.
Quit talking about my wife. I just said
Admires
that.
Pictures of...
Yeah.
Your beloved auntie swallowed a chewing gum. Yeah, she's sick now. It's going to be in her turds for 8 years.
Yep.
And she's a garbage pail.
I kind of wish this is faster paced because I just want to really just tell this woman how
yeah,
much.
I really want to get back at this lady.
And your hat.
It sucks.
It's not interesting.
Yeah, it's not interesting at all. It's a boring hat.
Pew, pew, pew.
That's what you get for wearing such a boring-ass hat to work.
It's funny because we're actually wearing the same exact hat.
I know, it's not really good to yeah.
Your wife admires pictures of the Hell's Granny's gang, young lady.
That is horrible. We got wrecked.
Rude.
Come on.
Oh,
my God. They hit us so
like
hard on that
one more left. All right.
So our wives are looking at pictures
Your
of the Granny gang.
husband.
Did you hear about that? That's scandalous.
I wish I could just drop like just some f-bombs.
I know. I really want to just. I want to throw a chimpanzee at this lady.
Your mother is Hitler.
Yeah, she's terrible. Okay.
Come on, spit it out.
Your house is a toilet, and I hate your face, you old
Your
ass
dog
lady.
goes to the bathroom outside.
Yeah.
Your husband is very naughty.
Your husband's
Because we've
dead.
been doing it. I know this.
Yeah, we doing it. We doing that, husband.
I'm just gonna put that out there. Your husband's very naughty.
Yeah, he's a dead parrot too.
We do some messed up S&M stuff. That's
Yep.
why his parrot's dead. We were doing things with it.
Your house secretly adores his parrot. Come on, amateur hour.
That's what we're arguing about in the first place. The parrot.
Why would your house love a dead
What?
parrot? Oh, you know what she's probably saying?
How does a pet shop dance?
She's saying our house is such a wreck that it's probably totally cool with having a dead parrot in it.
She's
And our
sipping
math
the-
teacher can't dance at all.
She's sipping tea to really just
She's
like...
actually kind of hitting us hard. I think
Come
it's
on, just say the insult.
I think it's a Twitter bird down there too. Real mean. Real mean.
Come
and your
on.
hovercraft is silly.
Save some insults for us.
That is a great hovercraft.
Your house secretly adores this parrot, and
This is such a polite version of, like, insulting
does
people over the internet.
like your
If there's an actual
math
game
teacher,
to it.
and your hovercraft
See, if I made this, it would
is
just be like...
It'd
be like,
she wrecked us.
Is very naughty.
That's true. You know what he does? He's cheating on
Will
you.
Replace the bloody parrot
Oh,
now.
well, they won the argument.
I will. I have plenty of them in the box.
Yeah, you're getting
I
another
want
dead
a
one.
live one, or I'll be back to complain.
All
You're
right.
getting a dead one.
So there is Oh Sir, the Insult Simulator.
We got dissed by an old lady.
We got, apparently we're not even good at insulting people over the internet when it's
got wrecked,
in a
dude.
game. Yeah.
He said that our wife looks at the granny gang pictures of. That's disgusting.
Well, the Granny Gang is a hot gang.
I'm gonna have some words with her when I get home
Yeah.
tonight.
Anyway, so that game is on Steam. Go check it out if you want to insult people on the internet, or just check the comments below.
That was brutal.
Yeah, we got trounced.
That's our show.
That's it.
I'm very happy
It's
with
over.
this one. This was a good time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Brian Altano. This is Max Scoville. Coming up next, Mitchell Saltzman and Mark Medina will be playing Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. That just came in on IGN Plays Live. So to watch that, literally don't move. Just stay put. It'll be a good one. Max, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You know, we've got an entire hour without talking about this, so I must bring it up. What's up with the hair?
I'm gonna get a haircut. All right, I'll get a haircut.
They keep asking me. That's our show. Max is getting a haircut
Get a
live
haircut.
next week on IGN. No, that's not true.
Not Greg Miller.